companies that are not fully embracing AI over the next few years are going to get crushed by companies who do. They're going to get crushed because those companies that do are going to have better outcomes. They're going to have more clients, faster revenue growth, and of course, they're going to have better margins.
Welcome to the New Talent Playbook Podcast, your go-to resource for building exceptional teams and thriving businesses. Each episode delivers actionable insights on harnessing offshore talent, integrating innovative technology, cultivating a vibrant company culture, and attracting and retaining top performers. Subscribe now to never miss an episode. For more resources, visit thenewtalentplaybookpodcast.com, where you can download this episode's free workbook designed to help you apply today's insight to your business. And now, here's your host, Rob Levin.
So we have a special episode of the New Talent Playbook podcast today, and this is a solo episode. And we are going to call it what every business owner should be doing with AI right now. And unfortunately, most aren't. Let's start with this, which is the owners that are going to come out ahead in this decade with their businesses aren't the ones with the biggest AI budget. They're going to be the ones that started experimenting now if they haven't started already, and hopefully got a jump over their competitors. The cost of waiting may not be very obvious, but I can assure you that the longer you wait, the further behind you are going to be. And that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, you're not going to have a culture of change, of embracing AI. And also, you're not going to get the benefits of it. I can tell you, and you can refer to another solo podcast that I did. It's on the Substack, and a Substack article on how WBN is becoming an AI-first company. We're already experiencing benefits in the form of better outcomes, as well as some efficiency gains by incorporating AI. And this is nothing you need to be afraid of. In fact, AI is one of those things that as long as you're just a little bit careful, you really can't go wrong. Now, a little disclaimer, I am not an AI expert by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a business owner, and I'm figuring things out the same way a lot of other people are. What I am sharing today is what I've done personally and what is working at Work Better Now, and also a little bit about what I'm seeing some other businesses do. One other, I guess, caveat, if you will, which is don't get stuck on which AI platform, which LLM platform to use. I think you should pick the one whose interface you like the most. When I say interface in terms of how you work with it, I particularly like Claude Cowork, although I do use other LLMs like ChatGPT and Gemini and Grok once in a while as well, even a tiny bit of Microsoft Copilot. And I am very eagerly awaiting the introduction of Claude Cowork into Microsoft, which I think is supposed to happen this month. Just pick one. It really doesn't matter, and just get going. I'm going to really divide this episode up into two buckets: what the owner needs to do, and then what the team needs to do. So first, let's get started here. As we say, set the table. You might want to talk with your IT person or whoever handles your software stack. And if you don't have one, then find a consultant. Maybe it's somebody you can pay by the hour. You want to make sure that you are clear on, number one, your LLM setup so that your data is not being shared with the LLM. It's not being used by the LLM to learn. And maybe some data should not, like, for example, customer personal identifiable information or employee personal identifiable information. You may not want to be putting that into the AI LLM platform of your choice. Make sure you're using enterprise versions. My understanding is that free versions have less safety precautions, $20 a month per employee. We're not talking about a lot of money here. And also create an AI usage policy and maybe even do a little bit of training. There are plenty of training videos on safe AI usage habits and policies. Be very clear on what's allowed, what's not allowed. And if you're not sure, just find somebody to ask. Like I said, either your IT person or a consultant that you can find. Ask some of your friends that are business owners who have been using AI a little bit more aggressively. I don't want to make anybody paranoid here. This is about being able to use this really incredibly powerful tool or set of tools and do it in a very confident way so that you can just go ahead and kind of go in, jumping into the water head first. With that said, let's talk about that first bucket, which is what I think you as the owner should be doing. And this really follows a lot of what I have done as an owner. So Chances are you're already using AI to help you as a thought partner. What do you think about this? Doing some research, maybe drafting some emails or other documents. But I'm going to encourage you to push this a little further. And the reason that I'm encouraging you to push further is that in my experience, building something with AI really gives you a sense of what's possible. And you kind of got to do this yourself. And it's nothing scary. I will tell you that I think it was the end of last summer, maybe early fall, I built a custom GPT. It's sort of like an agent. I want you just to think about it that way. Don't get hung up on semantics. I'm not great with them either. You might be able to do this with a Claude project. Do this for like a recurring task that you do every week. What I did last year is, Work Better Now. We provide high performing talent from Latin America for US based businesses and for small and mid-sized businesses who traditionally don't do a good job in preparing job descriptions. And if you don't have a good job description, your chances for many different reasons I'm not going to go into now, having a good match really diminish greatly. So I built a GPT that can take a job description and improve it. And I'm not going to bore you with the details of it, but it improves job descriptions. And by the way, I shared that with both the recruiting and sales teams here. And when they used it, it was incredibly successful. And now we are turning that into a big thing called Role Advisor that's going to do many other things. But the whole point is not about necessarily building something that you're going to use in the company or something you're going to ship to clients. It's just about seeing, number one, how easy it is to build something that's usable, going through some of the challenges in doing that. And I can tell you it's not that hard. It took me a couple hours to build this thing, maybe a couple more hours over the next few weeks to tweak it. But you'll really get a sense of what's possible with AI. So I highly recommend that you build something. You can vibe code this. You can literally talk into your LLM. Either they have an interface for you to do that with a little microphone icon, or there's apps like Whisperflow that you can install on your machine and you can literally talk into AI. You don't have to tell it how to do things. Just tell it what you want it to do. Tell it where it can get access to data if it needs to. And again, anybody can do this now. It's very easy. You're not going to be able to break anything. Just go and do it. You can also ask AI to write up a process in terms of how you went about doing it. And then you can share that with your team. And we'll get to that whole sharing thing in a second. Like I said, this doesn't have to be sophisticated. It doesn't even have to be something that you're going to use. I took a course last year where we built a website for a fictional company. And we did that, by the way, within an hour. And it was incredible what the results were. And again, it just gives you an idea of what's possible.
The reviews are in, and leaders are calling Rob Levin's new book a game changer. The New Talent Playbook, the ultimate guide to building your dream team, is now available, and it's your roadmap to winning the war for talent and scaling with total confidence. Don't just take our word for it. Order your copy today and see why it's a must-read for every SMB leader. Find it on Amazon.com or learn more at thenewtalentplaybook.com.
Next, I want to talk to what you should be having the team do. And the first step there is don't try to get the entire team to do what I'm suggesting here. You don't have to push the entire team right away into AI, but find some of your early adopters. These are people who are using AI, whether you know about it or not. They're probably already using AI and maybe using it beyond some of the things I talked about earlier. They're using it not as a thought partner, but they're having it do some of their work. Make these people your AI champions. And what you can do with the stuff that you're doing with AI, as well as what they're doing, is you can have this AI show and tell. And we did this at Work Better Now back in 2023. We stopped it for a while, and we're actually about to restart it now in our march in becoming an AI first company. We'll have a link to that podcast and that Substack post. This AI show and tell, this is 30 to 45 minutes where you have different people not only showing what they did, but showing the challenges, the mistakes, the frustrations, show all of that. And also, of course, the successes. And the idea is everybody in the company should attend this. I assume you would do it over Zoom because whoever's doing the show and tell will show what they've built, maybe some of the challenges, et cetera. And you should be included in there. You should be like any other team member in there, particularly in demonstrating some of the challenges that you faced and some of the missteps. How often you do this is up to you. If there's a lot of activity, do it weekly. If not, maybe do it monthly. It's really important to do this via some sort of screen sharing app, again, like a Zoom or a Teams or whatever it is you're using. Next, with your teams, encourage them all to take free courses. I'll put links to some of the free courses that are offered by the LLMs. They all have plenty of options. I've taken a couple of these courses myself. They're very good. And again, we'll have links to those in the show notes. And then another couple things that you should have everybody do is ask everybody what they would do with 2 hours more in the day. I'm sure everybody on your team never has enough time in the day to get everything done or to get to some of those important but not urgent things that ultimately will move the company forward, or at least their department forward. Ask them what they would do with 2 hours free a day. You're not asking them to work 2 hours longer, but have them write that down. Another thing to have them do is to take their job description. If they don't have one, write one up really quickly. They can use AI to do that. Take that job description, give it to AI, and have AI suggest how AI can make their job easier and give them some of their time back. And this will be eye-opening for a lot of people. They don't have to go ahead and execute on that right away, but maybe they can start dabbling a little by little. And again, you want to encourage people to share these things with others and let them know, hey, making mistakes is all part of this process. Also, what's very important to say is that we have to be very clear about a couple of things. Companies that are not fully embracing AI over the next few years are going to get crushed by companies who do. They're going to get crushed because those companies that do are going to have better outcomes. They're going to have more clients, faster revenue growth, and of course, they're going to have better margins. Companies who don't are going to really suffer, and this is going to happen much faster than people realize. And then when it comes to people's jobs, well, people who use AI will take the jobs of people who don't. You can let everybody know that there's no plans to do any layoffs. You're not looking to replace everybody with AI, but it's important that everybody does learn AI skills. And you're going to provide the tools for them to do that. The courses, maybe even the time to take the courses, the show and tells, at least the $20 a month subscriptions to the LLMs. Now, should you have everybody on the same LLM or not? I don't really know enough to comment on that. At this stage, my guess might be that's not as important, but there's also no harm in getting everybody to use the same LLM. And these LLMs, I'm talking about ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, they do have now these enterprise models that I know we're using in conjunction with a few other tools. We're using these at Work Better now. You might want to look into some of these enterprise models that might make it easier for people to share things more easily from user to user through these LLM platforms. Before I close up here, I do think that going forward, you should be thinking about any future hires that these people may not necessarily have AI experience, but I do believe that people who are going to thrive with AI are people who are good at unlearning things, like going from doing the work, unlearning those things, and relearning things like, how do I now manage AI that'll be doing the work? A question that I've actually been asking way before I even started playing around with AI is a question I would ask candidates is, how do you keep your tools sharp? What do you read? What do you watch? What do you listen to? Because we live in a world of rapid change that helps you stay on top of change and hopefully gives you some ideas on how to harness change. Ask them what tools that they've been using and how they've been using them over the past 6 to 12 months. And that'll tell you a lot about, does this person have the attributes? Again, curiosity, are they open to change, et cetera? And are they going to embrace change? You'll be able to find out if they have some of these attributes that are going to be important going forward. So just to kind of summarize things and wrap things up here, you don't have to figure all of this out by the next quarter, but you do have to start. Pick one or two things from this episode, have that IT conversation so you have a safe way and a clear AI usage policy. Run your first show and tell. It'll be a mess. So what? It's okay. Participate in that. Be part of that mess because now you're leading by example. Have 3 people sign up for AI courses. When they sign up, tell them that you expect them to share what they're learning on these courses. And like I said, the owners that embrace sooner are going to have a big head start, and that's an understatement over those that don't. Thanks a lot, and see you soon.
Thanks for listening. The New Talent Playbook podcast is brought to you by Work Better Now. Don't forget to review, subscribe, and download the workbook for this episode at the link below. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on LinkedIn at the New Talent Playbook Podcast or visit thenewtalentplaybookpodcast.com.